Good morning, everyone. It's another day of quarantine, self-isolation, loneliness, lockdown, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna do another what I eat in a day because that seems to be the only thing that I'm currently doing a lot of. So I'm just eating, like constantly eating something. So yeah, me and Sid are just chilling on the bed. We're just kind of embracing the day, which is another beautiful day, interestingly enough. Somehow Manchester managed to pull off the most amazing weather during this quarantine situation. Like, we never get sunny days like this, and I looked at the weather forecast today, and Jay actually sent it to me and he was like, it's gonna be 18 degrees today, and I was like, great. And we can go for one walk, for not even walk, it has to be once like exercise, and maybe we can get provisions. But thank God we got this guy, because then we're allowed to go for a little walk. So yeah, I'm gonna make some breakfast and we're gonna make a sheet pancake because I have some bananas that they look ready. They look like they want to be made into something. So I'm gonna make banana bread at some point, but I thought I'm gonna show you a sheet pancake recipe. We're not gonna be using any eggs, and it's gonna be delicious. So let's go into the kitchen and make a pancake. So here are my ingredients. So I've got some plant-based milk, I'm using oat milk, I've got flour, I'm going to be using a mixture of spelt and all-purpose flour. I've got some cinnamon, some vanilla, agave syrup, you can use maple syrup, you can use sugar, you can use honey, whatever you want, whatever you have. I've got some baking powder, I've got some coconut oil, you can use olive oil, or you can use melted butter, and I've got some apple cider vinegar, and I have some banana and some pecans. So what I want to say is that the toppings for this pancake are totally optional. If you have some berries, cut them some berries, put them on top. If you have some other nuts or seeds that you want to put on, if you have some chocolate chips, put that in. Like, honestly, that is totally up to you. I have lined this kind of dish, but if you want to make a full sheet pancake, like an oven sheet, I will tell you how much more to put. So let's just make the recipe. I'm gonna put 2 cups. If you're making a full sheet pancake, put 3 cups of milk. I'm putting 2 cups. You don't have to use oat milk, you can use almond milk, you can use normal milk, cow's milk, if that's what you drink. And then I'm gonna put that's a good start, about 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I'm just gonna let this sit for a second. When I say a second, I mean more of a minute. I've actually just changed my mind about the bowl, so I'm gonna put this in here, and I'm just gonna wash this bowl. So now I'm gonna put 2 cups of flour. I'm gonna use 1 cup of spelt and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. You can probably use oat flour. You can try using some coconut flour. I wouldn't go all coconut because coconut flour absorbs a lot of liquid, so it could get a bit dry. You could definitely use whole wheat flour. These are just the flours that I have. And yeah, quarantine continues, so the resources are limited. To that, I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. If you're making a full sheet, we're going for 3 cups of flour and 3 teaspoons of baking powder. So I'm just gonna mix it all together. Put that to the side and get my oat milk mixture. And I'm gonna add some vanilla extract. You can add almond extract if you don't want vanilla, or if you don't have vanilla, or you can add nothing at all. And then I'm gonna add maple syrup. I would say maybe 1/4 of a cup, and maybe 1/3 of a cup if you're making a full one. So this is a 1/3 of a cup, so I'm not gonna fill it till the end. So I'm adding agave, and I'm just melting some coconut oil. So while I do that, I'm gonna also add some cinnamon to this mixture. You can use cardamom, you can use cinnamon, you can use clove. I am a big fan of cinnamon. Like anything that I bake pretty much has cinnamon in it. So I have about 1/4 cup of coconut oil, melted coconut oil. You can use olive oil or you can use melted butter. And if you are using if you are making a full sheet, then it's going to be 1/3 cup. So I'm going to slowly pour the wet ingredients in. It's going to get quite fluffy because of the vinegar and the baking powder. So just try to get any lumps out, but also don't overmix. I know there's like a fine line between that, but that looks good to me. I can't really see any lumps, and it's a nice even batter. So that is our batter done. So I'm going to let it stand for a few minutes just so it can work its magic, the baking powder can work its magic. So I'm going to put that to a side while we cut the banana. The ends are for me. And you can leave the pecans as they are, but I would like to chop some as well. Walnuts will work really well too. Now I'm gonna pour the batter in. I'm gonna top it with banana. Like I said, you can add berries, seeds, nuts, chocolate chips, anything you have handy basically. So that is going into the preheated oven. So I have set my timer, I haven't set my timer, for 15 minutes for now, and then I'm going to check, and if they need another 2 minutes, I'm going to do that. Also, if you want, you can rotate the pan about halfway through, just so it bakes evenly depending on your oven. My oven is quite even actually, and then if you also want to brown it, you can broil it for a minute at the end. We will see how it looks once 15 minutes have passed, and we'll go from there. You guys, the timer is ringing, so we better check on our pancake. There it is. So you can see that it doesn't get that brown, but that looks really, really good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it on grill, and I'm just gonna grill it a little bit on the top. You guys, I'm not filming because this is such a time sensitive matter, the grill, so I was just kind of twisting and turning it, and as you can see, it's browning nicely. So I'm gonna turn all of this off and get it out. So here we go, you guys. I'm gonna walk this guy because he wants to go for a walk, and then we will cut into it and I will show you how it looks inside and what are my thoughts. So you guys, here's our pancake. I've just removed it from the oven. Not from the oven, from the tin. So I'm gonna cut little piece, and this is how it looks. So it's nice and spongy inside. So what I was gonna say is that I definitely use a small pan. Like I should have gone for a bigger pan, because just depends how like thick you want it, because this is more of a sponge than a pancake. So I would definitely go with a sheet. I don't have a sheet basically at the moment. That is the problem. That is why I couldn't use one. But I would definitely recommend using a sheet. Otherwise, you guys, it is delicious. It's just that when it's thicker, definitely bake it longer. So I actually put mine back for another few minutes because I realized how much it risen and how small the pan was. So go for a bigger sheet, and it is really, really good. Like really, really good. So you guys, it's lunchtime and I'm gonna make another soup because soup is cheap, soup is easy, and I'm trying to use the vegetables from the box that we got. So I'm gonna show you the ingredients that I have. Kind of gonna be a version of a beetroot soup, so a borscht, if you know what a borscht is. Whatever vegetables you have in the fridge you can use, but the main ones are beetroot, cabbage. I actually have a purple cabbage, and some kind of very funny looking lonely tiny green cabbage, potatoes, onion, garlic. I've also got a leek that I'm gonna put in, some rosemary that I found, little lonely rosemary, and I'm also gonna bulk it up with some green lentils. Got to say a carrot and a celery as well. So I've washed and peeled all my other vegetables, so they're just kind of draining here. I'm about to peel my beets, and this is my setup for peeling beets. I put gloves on and I kind of peel them into a little napkin, and then I just throw that away, because like this it doesn't create mess, because beets are messy. I've got all my vegetables ready. I've chopped the potatoes, I've grated the beetroots. You can chop them, it's up to you. I prefer them grated. Chopped my leeks, my onions, celery, grated the carrots. I'm gonna crush the garlics in, and that's my cabbage. And I'm gonna put the rosemary in as it is. Stove on and a big pot on. So I'm gonna wait for it to warm up, put some olive oil in, and we get frying. So that's hot. I'm gonna put some olive oil in, and I'm gonna go straight in with the onions. Then I'm gonna add the leeks, the celery and carrots. I'm gonna add the garlic. Just fry it for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna add the beetroots. So that's been frying for a couple of minutes. I'm gonna add about half a cup of lentils. I'm gonna add all the potatoes, the rosemary. I'm gonna crumble a stock cube in because I don't have any fresh stock. And then I've just got some boiling water from the kettle that I'm gonna pour in. I'm also gonna add a little bit of tomato paste. This is definitely not essential, but I quite like that zingy taste. Just mix it all up, and we're gonna simmer this for about 20 minutes, and then I will add the cabbage. Okay guys, the soup has been cooking for about 20 minutes, so I'm gonna add the cabbage in and cook it for another maybe 7-10 minutes. Gonna stir that in. You can add any herbs that you have as well. I don't really have any, so this is good enough. So you guys, I think the soup is pretty much ready, so I would say give it a little try, adjust the seasoning, and I'm also going to put a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You can also put lemon juice. It just makes it taste so much nicer. Like my mum always used to do this, so I do that too. Guys, that's all ready. I've got some sourdough, like seeded sourdough as well, and I added some plain soy yogurt. Normally I would go for sour cream, but yogurt will do just fine as well. You guys, it's dinner time, and I have just been going through my fridge, seeing what needs eating, what needs cooking. So I'm going to be making some sort of mushroom rice dish, kind of like a risotto, but I am being lazy and I am like using prepared rice, which I normally don't do, but today is one of those days. We're going for this because we're hungry. We want to have some food quick, so I'm going to be using this basmati and wild rice. I've got lots of mushrooms. These ones definitely need cooking, so they're from the veg box. Gonna use all of them. I've got some Oatly cream, so it's like an oat alternative to cream. I've got some fresh asparagus, which I will definitely use, and I also got some sage in this box, so I might use some leaves because mushrooms and sage actually go
really nicely together. Also, I have just made some banana chocolate muffins. The recipe will be on my Instagram, so check that out. I will leave the link to my Instagram in the description box below. So when it comes to mushrooms, mushrooms are like a sponge, so you don't want to wash them, otherwise they will actually take a lot of water in. So the best way to clean them is just to take a paper towel and just kind of brush any dirt off. If the mushrooms are really dirty, then I would definitely suggest washing them. You can pre-boil your mushrooms, just depending how fearful you are about eating mushrooms. So everything is chopped. Asparagus is chopped, the onions, the garlics I'm gonna crush. The leaves I'm just gonna put in as whole, and the mushrooms are ready. So I'm gonna heat up a pan. So the onions are going in. I'm gonna add the sage leaves because I actually kind of want them to crisp up and just to give that flavor to the oil. This is, by the way, totally optional. You can add thyme if you have any. You can add dry, or you don't have to add anything at all. Next is garlic. And then I'm going to add all of the mushrooms. At this point I'm also going to add a little bit of vegan butter, or you can use obviously normal butter, just to get those mushrooms nice and creamy. I mean, butter and mushrooms is just like a heavenly combination. So today's actually the 26th of March, and they were saying that everybody at 8 p.m. will be clapping for our NHS stuff. So actually we can hear people clapping, and I think they even fireworks. Ah, that's so lovely. That is so lovely. You know what? During these times, it's just so lovely to see people being good, you know? Anyways, back to dinner. Mushrooms are frying nicely. But yeah, that was such a touching moment actually. I wish this would happen more often, but yeah, we are definitely very grateful to all the medical stuff everywhere for like taking this load of work at the moment and dealing with this absolute madness. It's lovely. Anyways, I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this. Kind of let them cook for a little bit longer. So the mushrooms actually fried for about 10 to 12 minutes. But just watch them so that they don't burn. You can always add some vegetable broth or some water, some more butter. So I'm just gonna cook the asparagus tips for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna add the cream and the rice. So I'm gonna add the cream, and then I'm gonna add all of the rice. Mix it all in and let the rice warm up. And just to finish it off, I'm gonna add some nutritional yeast flakes for that cheesy flavor. You can add parmesan, but this is a good source of vitamin B12. Here we go. You guys, this is the end of our what I eat in a day video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the recipes. Let me know if you try any of them and what other kind of recipes you would like to see, because obviously I have all the time in the world right now to be filming recipes, and I'm trying to do as many of them as I can. So yeah, I hope you guys are well and safe. Let me know what you're up to in your lockdown, in your quarantine. How are you keeping yourself busy? I'm also going to be posting more of workouts and yoga with Leo as well. So yeah, I hope you guys are well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye.